Your full sponsorship of this launch is a loud affirmation of your continuous belief in the Ecowas vision. I will be remiss if I do not acknowledge the Ecowas Planning Committee, led by Ecowas Commission Vice President, Her Excellency Damtien Chichibija, for their remarkable contributions and exceptional team spirit. We remain indebted to the team, and certainly indebted to the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Honorable Standobe, and his very industrious team of event planners. Your Excellency, for those who might be wondering how this grand launch fits into President Mohammed's exemplary leadership of austerity, may I place on record that funding for the Ecowas at 50 launch has been a shared responsibility. Financing this launch and the two-day Extraordinary Council of Ministers meeting scheduled to take place right after paid for by ECOWAS member states. The Ghanaian taxpayer, therefore, has not been saddled with the entire cost of this event. Your Excellencies, we invite all member state institutions, partners, and the people of West Africa to participate actively, to share our common stories, to chart together the path towards a stronger, more resilient, more united ECOWAS, and to keep the ECOWAS and African unity dream alive. As Osajefo Kwame Nkrumah reminds us, if we in Africa can achieve the example of a continent knit together in common policy and common purpose, we shall have made the finest possible contribution to that peace for which all men and women thirst today, and which will lift once and forever the deepening shadow of global destruction from mankind. Once again, Your Excellencies, on behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the government and chiefs and people of the Republic of Ghana, I extend warmest welcome to all of you, our distinguished guests. May our deliberations and celebrations in the coming months inspire renewed hope, solidarity, and ambition for West Africa and the entire African continent. As we say in Ghana, Akwaba, Wezo, welcome. I thank you very much.
Mesdames et Messieurs, veuillez accueillir Son Excellence Dr. Omar Aliou Touré, président de la Commission de la CEDEAO, pour son discours officiel. Ladies and gentlemen, please warmly welcome His Excellency the President of the ECOWAS Commission for his official address, Dr. Omar Aliou Touré.
Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President and Head of State of the Republic of Ghana, Excellency President Joseph Boakai, President and Head of State of Liberia, Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, former President of the Republic of Ghana, His Royal Highness the Gov't and other traditional leaders of Ghana, Excellency the Prime Minister of the Republic of Togo, Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of the Gov't, Your Excellency Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Council, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana, members of Ghana State Council, Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, members of the ECOWAS Council, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and members of the Ghana Parliament, the Vice President of the ECOWAS Commission, heads of ECOWAS institutions and honorable commissioners, the representative of the President of UEMOA, and of the President of IBID, Director General of WAMA, Special Envoy on Counter-Terrorism, Ambassador Baba Kamara, resident representatives of ECOWAS, staff of ECOWAS institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege to address you in this historic city of Accra as we gather to launch the ECOWAS Golden Jubilee commemoration. On behalf of the management and staff of ECOWAS institutions, I would like to thank His Excellency Dramani Mahama, President and Head of State of the Republic of Ghana, the government and the people of Ghana for hosting this historic event. No doubt, Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah would have been proud to see Ghana and Ghanaians hosting the launch of the 50th anniversary of ECOWAS, a pillar of the African unity that Dr. Nkrumah worked for, lived for, and died for. I salute their excellencies, presidents, heads of state, the traditional leaders, vice presidents and prime ministers, as well as the honorable ministers and ambassadors who have taken time from their busy schedule to join us here today. We thank you for your commitment to the integration and the prosperity of our people. I would like to pay a special tribute to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, former President of Ghana, for his leadership not only of Ghana, but also of ECOWAS during very trying times. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this event is the beginning of a string of activities that will take place in each member state of ECOWAS as a way of giving concrete expression to the ideal of ECOWAS of the people. In marking the 50th anniversary, our objective is to celebrate, reflect, and recalibrate our community. In the current context, many would be forgiven for asking if there is anything about ECOWAS that should be celebrated. Our response to such cynicism is an emphatic yes, and I have my reasons. First, ECOWAS is the most integrated community in Africa. In a recent interview, Alhaji Aliko Dangote lamented that he required visa for over 30 African countries. If an entrepreneur of Dangote's caliber can go through such hassle, can you imagine what ordinary people go through to travel within the continent? Thank God, no ECOWAS member state is among the countries that require Mr. Dangote to have a visa. This is because ECOWAS has adopted a free movement protocol that gives each ECOWAS citizen the right to visa-free movement, the right to residence, and the right to establishment across the region. These freedoms make the ECOWAS community the most integrated regional economic community on the continent. This, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, is a good reason to celebrate. Two, ECOWAS has an effective trade liberalization scheme. The ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme is ECOWAS's preferential trade arrangement. Since the inception of the trade liberalization scheme, more than 15,000 companies have been registered under the scheme and benefit from the preferential treatment within ECOWAS for more than 50,000 products. the Interconnected System for the Management of Goods in Transit, SIGA, has been launched to connect national customs offices in the Ecowas region to facilitate regional transit trade and increase the pace and ease of international trade. The system is now fully operational in 7 countries. These two, Excellency, together with the common external tariff, is a good reason to celebrate. 3, ECOWAS has a promising regional energy and infrastructure programs. The community has developed a 25-year master plan which comprises 201 regional projects covering all member states. These have been estimated to cost about $131 billion US. The 4 key sectors covered are transport, energy, telecommunication, and water resources. Within this context, Excellencies, key infrastructure projects have been launched. These include the Lagos-Abidjan Corridor Highway, as well as the Abidjan-Praia Corridor Highway, and several secondary corridors and joint border posts. The 1,028-kilometer Lagos-Abidjan Corridor Highway is one of the largest economic corridors on the continent. About $42 million US has been successfully mobilized to finance the technical preparatory studies of the project. The feasibility and preliminary design studies, which have been completed, show a significant investment cost of nearly $15 billion US, with an average economic rate of return of 15%. The corridor, the Abidjan-Lagos Corridor, Excellencies, is now ready for investors. In the same vein, preparations are underway for the development of the Abidjan-Praia Corridor that will consist of a maritime and shipping line from Praia in Cape Verde to Dakar in Senegal, and a 6-lane highway from Dakar in Senegal to Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire, going through Banjul, Bissau, Freetown, and Monrovia. The technical and preparatory studies for this project have commenced and are expected to be completed shortly. In addition to these major corridors, other corridors include the Nigeria-Cameroon Highway and Transport Facilitation Program, the Mano River Multinational Highway and Transport Facilitation Project. All these initiatives are a source of hope, and so are the joint border posts that seek to limit the duplication of procedures and paperwork at border crossings. In the energy sector, ECOWAS and international partners have embarked upon several generation and interconnection projects within the region. These include electrification projects in the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and Mali through the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, ECOREAP. Similarly, electricity interconnection has been established with all 14 continental countries of the region. It is hoped that the completion of the Information and Coordination Center of the West African Power Pool will enable member states to buy and sell electricity within the region. In this regard, the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Sector Regulatory Authority, ERIRA, has been established here in Ghana with a mandate to regulate cross-border electricity exchange among ECOWAS member states. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these efforts are being complemented by the Regional Off-Grid Electricity Access Project, launched by the Ecowas Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, ECRE. The project, that has an estimated cost of $340 million, seeks to facilitate access to off-grid electricity for households, businesses, and public institutions. Excellencies, Ecowas has solid socio-economic development programs. I can go on to cite several such programs, such as the regional initiatives, such as the West African Regional Digital Integration, regional regulatory frameworks on roaming, ECOWAS competition and investment regimes, ECOWAS intervention through WAHO, the West African Health Organization, on Ebola, on COVID, on Mpox, as well as the initiatives in the area of education, including vocational education. We can also cite the regional food reserves and humanitarian initiatives, the ECOWAS Rise Offensive, and climate-smart agricultural projects. All these programs and initiatives give us hope, and therefore constitute a reason to celebrate. But Excellencies, nothing is worth celebrating more than ECOWAS's role in peace and security in the region. Here, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau come to mind. It was the valiant ECOWAS peacekeepers and several rounds of peace talks that brought peace to Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Cote d'Ivoire. And it was ECOWAS that ensured that the will of the people of the Gambia prevailed in 2016. These are accomplishments worth celebrating, and so are efforts geared towards the fight against organized crime, including piracy. The establishment of the maritime security zones in the region and the strong partnerships built around maritime security have contributed to the decline in the incidences of piracy in our region, with 0 piracy incident recorded in 2024. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the celebrations of ECOWAS' 50th anniversary must go hand in hand with reflections with a view to recalibration. One area that requires reflection is the low level of intra-community trade. Despite being a customs union, intra-community trade within ECOWAS stands at 12%. This is considerably low compared to the European Union and ASEAN countries. To resolve this, we must continue to address the infrastructure and energy deficit as well as non-tariff barriers. But most significantly, we must address supply-side constraints by raising productivity in our communities and in our economies. To raise productivity, we must be able to attract investment both from within and from outside the region. Our market of 400 million people is a potential magnet to investors. This, once again, underlines the importance of regional integration, as few meaningful investors are attracted by the small size of our individual domestic markets. We must also invest in peace and security. The terrorist menace that constitute a key driver of insecurity in the region knows no borders. This makes security collaboration within the region imperative. In this regard, I would like to salute efforts being deployed by His Excellency President Mahama, President Faure Gnassingbé, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, and indeed the Chair of Ecowas Authority of Heads of State and Government, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, aimed at bringing about reconciliation and fostering collaboration between ECOWAS and the countries that belong to the Alliance for Sahelian State. Despite the challenges, I remain optimistic that we will collectively preserve and build on the gains of regional integration for our people who are united by blood. Long live ECOWAS, long live West Africa, long live Africa. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just heard from Dr. Omar Alieu Touré, President of the Commission of ECOWAS, or ECOWAS Commission, and before that we also heard from the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, Minister of Foreign Affairs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate 50 years, we are celebrating the past, but I also would like to doff my hat to the organizing committee for more or less anticipating a wonderful, vibrant, and ambitious future for the continent of Africa by inviting some young men and women into our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, I humbly ask you to give a round of applause to the representatives of our educational system here. West Africa Senior High School, you're very welcome. Accra Girls Senior High School, you're very welcome. St. Mary's Senior High School, you're very welcome. And the ever popular Presec High School, you are welcome. Please, another round of applause for the future of Africa. I can see some of you who went to those schools are smiling. Thank you so much for joining us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency Bianca Ojukwu, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Nigeria, here representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, will now read a statement on his behalf in his capacity as Chair of the Ecowas Authority of Heads of State and Government. Mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais inviter sur scène Son Excellence Bianca Ojukwu, représentante du Président Bola Tinubu de Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please warmly welcome her.
Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, and our dear host, heads of state and government here present, the President of the ECOWAS Commission, members of ECOWAS Council of Ministers, honorable ministers and other senior government officials of the Republic of Ghana, commissioners and heads of ECOWAS institutions, representatives of regional and international organizations, members of the diplomatic corps, traditional rulers here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. These are the remarks by His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, at this official launch of the ECOWAS Golden Jubilee in Accra, Ghana. I quote, "With a profound sense of fraternity and solidarity, I stand before you today in the beautiful city of Accra to celebrate the official launch of the Ecowas, the Economic Community of West African States, Golden Jubilee. Ecowas was a bold vision created by our founding fathers on May 28, 1975. We have seen that vision crystallize. Hence, we celebrate 5 decades of progress, unity, and resilience, and rekindle the flame of solidarity that has guided our region through triumphs and trials. My heartfelt congratulations go to my dear brother, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, whose visionary leadership, unwavering dedication, and steadfast commitment to regional integration and development ideals have been a source of inspiration and strength. Under your stewardship, Your Excellency, Ghana remains a beacon of democratic governance, economic progress, and regional solidarity. Your efforts in championing the upliftment of our dear region through diplomacy, collaboration, and tireless transformative policies deserve our most profound appreciation and admiration. Similarly, I commend the tireless efforts and unwavering dedication of the Ecowas Commission staff. Their professionalism, commitment, and collaborative spirit have been instrumental in making this day a resounding success. 5 decades ago, our founding fathers from 15 nations envisioned regional economic integration, cooperation, and shared prosperity. From the ashes of colonialism and the turbulence of post-independence struggles, they forged Ecowas, a beacon of hope for our people. Their dream was not merely to dissolve borders, but to build bridges of trade, cultural exchange, and mutual progress. From the original Treaty of Lagos in 1975 to this momentous gathering here in Accra, Ecowas has remained a pillar of integration and a beacon of hope for over 400 million citizens across our region. Remarkably, our journey over the past 5 decades has not been without challenges. We have faced political instability, economic hardship, infrastructural deficits, and security threats, but we remain undaunted. We shall not relent in our commitment to a united, peaceful, purposeful, and prosperous West Africa. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, today we celebrate numerous remarkable achievements that distinguish ECOWAS as the most successful regional economic community on the African continent. We have established one of Africa's most vibrant free trade areas in 5 decades, fostering intra-regional commerce and lifting millions from poverty. We have championed peace through ECOMOG's valiant efforts, mediating conflicts in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. We have introduced the ECOWAS passport, symbolizing our commitment to free movement. We have also advanced democratic norms, standing firm against tyranny and supporting transitions to constitutional governance. However, The journey towards a truly united and prosperous region is far from over. We must confront the hard truths of our present reality. Despite our shared vision, too many of our citizens still live in poverty. Too many of our children in threats. Violent extremism, climate change, and food insecurity. The wave of unconstitutional changes in our region seriously threatens the democratic gains we have painstakingly built. As the current chair of Ecowas, I reaffirm Nigeria's unwavering commitment to the fundamental principles that bind us: democracy, and regional solidarity. These are not just ideals, they are the foundations for peace, development, and the dignity of our people. In this new chapter, we must reimagine Ecowas as not just a community of states, but a community of people. We must place our young, dynamic, creative, and resilient people at the center of our agenda. We must invest in education, innovation, and skills development to unleash the full potential of Africa's future. We must seek to expand the frontiers of democracy, and we must limit the forays of unconstitutional rule into the democratic space. We must always seek peace towards achieving the collaborations needed for development. We must also deepen our economic cooperation, support intra-regional trade, and ensure that the African continental free trade area becomes a vehicle for genuine transformation. A prosperous West Africa is good for Africa and the world. In deepening our integration, we must accelerate the realization of a single currency and strengthen infrastructure corridors to connect markets and minds. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let us use this Jubilee as a moment of renewal. Let us rededicate ourselves to the spirit of Pan-Africanism that inspired our founders. Let us build an Ecowas that is more resilient, more inclusive, and more responsive to the needs of our people. This moment calls for a renewed commitment to fostering unity and solidarity among member states. It is a time to strengthen the bonds that tie us together through shared values, collective responsibility, and a common vision for a prosperous region. In hopes of reconciliation and reintegration, we must remain open and willing to engage in sustained dialogue with our estranged brothers, those member states currently outside our fold. At the same time, there is an urgent need to implement bold, comprehensive reforms that will enhance our institutions' effectiveness, relevance, and credibility to meet the challenges of today and the future. By embracing these imperatives, the organization can better respond to its people's evolving needs and advance sustainable development, stability, and prosperity across the region. In conclusion, let me remind you of a Nigerian proverb that says, "A tree does not stand alone in the forest." Our strength lies in our unity. As a proud member Nigeria pledges to collaborate with every nation, large or small, to build an ECOWAS that is resilient to confront the challenges of our time. May the next 50 years be etched in history as an era when West Africa rose, united, prosperous, and unstoppable. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency Bianca Ojukwu. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we launch the 50th anniversary of our ECOWAS community, we must hasten to remind ourselves that the peoples of these lands have a history that goes far beyond the 50 years. Now, our Honorable Foreign Minister, in the spirit of cultural diplomacy, is pleased to present to you a special highlight performance of our launch, featuring the Mansa World, which is taking Africa's rich historical stories global through epic productions in a project endorsed by theatrical epic Mansa Musa, and the Trail of Lost Gold has been touring the world to critical acclaim. Proudly created by Ghanaian poet and playwright Chief Moman, and performed by what you can see now, known as Bamboo Heritage Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with honor, gratitude, joy, pride, a lot of color, and proud ECOWASism, as they may call it, that I present to you the Mansa World in a special act titled Reclaiming Our Destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ECOWAS at 50.
We harvest tears from laughter's eyes, how we even sow some joy in sorrow's deepest soul. We are dancer and the dance. In the space between the drums in us, you will feel unfold the endless saga of ancestral time. We are dancer and the dance. There is a journey we all must make into our past in order to come to terms with our future.
strengthen our Ecowas community. We must look beyond our boundaries and come together in our ancestral bond. Today we shall invoke the memory of our ancestors. We invoke the memory of Tinga Sise of the Ghana Empire. What? And for the great Mali nation. From Mali to Mecca with the greatest caravan of about 60,000. Golden glory of the mighty God. We shine above the world. With the golden caravan. Great kings and royal. Yeah. and forged Songhai.
Today, we explore our shared history. Do we tell the leaders, don't fail? President Mahama, don't fail! President Gwaki, don't fail! To every single African leader here, don't fail! To every single West African leader across our community, don't fail! Because the youth are hungry for inspiration. They do not want to continue to travel across the impossible Sahara in search of the greener pastures beyond the Mediterranean. They want to make it right here in their own motherlands. And so, from every single youth across every single country of West Africa, our message today is simple. To all of us, leaders and people, chiefs and politicians, bankers and artists and doctors and artisans, all of us in West Africa, don't fail! Ladies and gentlemen, just as how these West African lands sprouted some of the greatest empires of the ancient world, we believe that from West Africa could come and will come some of the greatest nations of our modern world if we all come together to work for our inspiration. This has been a Master World experience.
Time to find the Lord's hope, food for the mind and soul.
the Mansa world, musically and aptly called Reclaiming Our Destiny, Ecowas at 50. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you would like to see more of the Mansa world, you may take a glimpse at it in any of the major cities around the world. As I mentioned before, it has been traveling the world to critical acclaim. The color, the beauty, the merger of the cultures across West Africa, and indeed, ultimately, across Africa is to be applauded. One more time. Chief Mormon and the Mansa world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, just before we go to the next part of our program today, I would like to highlight that kindly after this gathering, we humbly ask you all to remain seated while His Excellency and of course the VVIP party take leave of us. So at the time when we are done with our unveil, please, ladies and gentlemen, with humility and respect, I kindly ask you to remain seated while we exit the building. And now, it is my distinct honor to invite to the podium the host of our gathering today. At the helm of this beautiful country we call the Republic of Ghana, inviting you all to this cosmopolitan city of Accra. Ladies and gentlemen, with humility, respect, I ask you to be upstanding while I invite to his podium His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Ecowas Commission, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Gambia, revered former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, representative of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, Your Excellency the Prime Minister of Togo, the Honorable Minority Leader representing the Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, our traditional authorities, our Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and let me stand on established protocol. It is with great pride and honor that I welcome you all to Accra for the launch of the 50th anniversary celebration of the Economic Community of West African States. Today is not just a celebration, it is a solemn moment of reflection on our collective journey and an invitation to renew our commitment to the principles that have bound us together for half a century in unity, peace, regional integration, and above all, diplomacy as our guiding compass. Your Excellency, ECOWAS was born out of a spirit of bold diplomatic engagement in 1975. Our founding fathers, faced with fragmented economies and fragile political landscapes, chose the path of cooperation over competition and rivalry. Their vision was clear. It was one to pursue our development not as isolated nations, but as a united community. Since then, ECOWAS has grown to become a key diplomatic and political force in Africa. Through consistent engagement, dialogue, and mediation, our community has earned a reputation as a trusted arbiter in conflict prevention and resolution. Whether it has been in restoring peace in Liberia and Sierra Leone, in guiding the Gambia through a difficult political transition, or preventing electoral crisis in Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, ECOWAS has proven that African solutions through African diplomacy can and do work. We must not take this legacy lightly. It is one we must protect. It is one we must deepen and refine in the face of new and emerging challenges. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today our region is faced with a complex array of threats: violent extremism, growing insecurity in the Sahel, political instability, economic disparities, and climate vulnerabilities. In moments like these, Diplomacy and solidarity must remain our first and strongest line of defense. The recent decision by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to withdraw from Ecowas is a regrettable development. Yet, even in this, continuous engagement must remain our lodestar. We must respond not with isolation or recrimination, but with understanding, dialogue, and a willingness to listen and to engage. Since assuming office as president, I've prioritized diplomatic re-engagement with our Sahelian neighbors. Ghana has appointed a special envoy to initiate high-level conversations with the Alliance of Sahel States. I've personally led missions to foster trust, rebuild communication channels, and affirm our shared aspirations. These efforts reflect our belief that we have a shared destiny as a sub-region, and that unity, however difficult, remains the best path to shared prosperity and regional stability. Ghana stands ready to serve as the bridge to help reknit the fabric of West African unity. We believe that through sustained dialogue, patient diplomacy, and principled negotiation, we can restore cohesion and rebuild trust in our community. This period, ladies and gentlemen, calls for even greater solidarity and understanding for the difficult challenges that confront our brothers in the Sahelian states. Diplomacy is not only about resolving disputes, it's about creating the conditions for peace, for inclusion and progress. It's about fostering mutual respect and advancing our common interests. In this regard, our commitment to integration through diplomacy must extend to economic, social, and cultural dimensions, whether we are harmonizing trade negotiations, whether we are facilitating free movement of our people, or championing education and health cooperation. Our diplomatic instruments must always work in the service of our people. We must empower ECOWAS institutions to act swiftly, credibly, and transparently. Our citizens must feel that ECOWAS is not some distant bureaucracy, but a living community that understands their struggles and champions their hopes. And let us never forget the power of soft diplomacy. Our shared languages, our music, our literature, and youth culture. These are powerful tools that bind us together more deeply than any treaty can. And I wish to commend the young people who gave that wonderful performance here. Distinguished guests, let this 50th anniversary be a turning point for diplomacy in West Africa. Let us invest more in early warning systems, mediation capacities, and youth and women as peace builders. Let us position our sub-region ECOWAS not only as a political and economic bloc, but as a diplomatic dialogue and peaceful coexistence. To mark this moment and strengthen regional bonds, Ghana is offering 1,000 scholarships to tertiary students from across the ECOWAS sub-region to study in our universities. This is not just a gesture, it is an act of solidarity. It is a bridge to a future where our young people will grow up seeing each other not as foreigners, but as partners. Excellencies, as we look to the next 50 years, let unity and solidarity lead us. Let that be our guide on how we respond to insecurity, how we manage our diversity, and how we build our prosperity together. ECOWAS must remain a forum for listening. It must be a space for healing, a home for visionary African-led solidarity and diplomacy. Ghana reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the ECOWAS vision and to the values of dialogue, peace, and partnership that sustain it. Long live ECOWAS, long live West African solidarity, and I thank you for your kind attention. May I now invite the President of Liberia, the Prime Minister of Togo, the Vice President of Gambia, special envoys of heads of state, representatives of heads of state present, the former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the Ecowas Commission President to join us in the unveiling of the logo for the Ecowas 50th anniversary celebration. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And as our VIPs are getting on stage, may I now please invite Her Excellency Mrs. Damtian Chimdipija, who will describe the 50th anniversary logo and the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the Vice President of the Ecowas Commission, Damtian Chimdipija.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to stand on existing protocols in order to address you today. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity in order to thank the young women and men who have just presented us with a beautiful performance, a performance that represents us as community citizens. I am truly honored today to briefly present to you the logo of the Ecowas at 50 and the theme of our Golden Jubilee. The radiating lines emanating from the central emblem evokes a sense of celebration, achievement, and the widespread impact of Ecowas across the region. They represent rays of progress, unity, spreading outwards, or simply celebratory bursts. The use of gold or warm yellow color often symbolizes a golden anniversary, an achievement, and a prestige. It adds a celebratory and festive feel. The circle itself represents unity, completeness, and the continuous nature of growth within the Ecowas bloc. The Ecowas at 50 logo is designed to show not only achievements, but continuity and forward momentum within our community. The logo blends the existing Ecowas identity with celebratory elements to mark the significant 50-year milestone, our Golden Jubilee. The theme of the celebration is Stronger Together for a Brighter Future. The theme highlights the power of unity, regional cooperation, and shared commitment among ECOWAS member states as the foundation for building a prosperous, peaceful, and sustainable future for the people of West Africa. It also reflects the belief that working together allows the region to face challenges more effectively and achieve greater progress than any country could do on its own. The theme is both a reminder that regional unity is not just a political ideal, it is a practical necessity for building a peaceful, prosperous, and inclusive West Africa. The 50th anniversary is not just a slogan, it is a vision, a promise, a commitment. It reminds us that despite our linguistic, cultural, and historical differences, West African countries continue to share a common identity. And as long as we stand together in unity and solidarity, we will be able to shape a brighter future for present and future generations to come. I thank you for your kind attention. Muito obrigado. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. The 50th anniversary of its glory. Applause for ECOWAS. I would like to ask our heads of state and our special guests to remain on stage while I invite the ministers here present who are representing their various presidents. Please join us on stage for our family photo. All the ministers here duly representing their presidents, the presidents of the member states, please join us on stage as we take our family photo. Photographers, please. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause as we're celebrating Ecowas at 50. Looking forward to a series of events that will take us from now to the next year. As His Excellency the President and his guests take center stage, another round of applause as we have unveiled Ecowas at 50. This is a momentous occasion for us together, and it is a great moment to be part of ECOWAS, a great moment to be African, and indeed, to be here at 50 is to plan for 50 more. Another round of applause while His Excellency and our guests take their seats. Thank you very much to our media fraternity, our media friends. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, please take your seats. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats. Our media men, please give way for our special guests to reclaim their seats. To close off our program this afternoon, I would like to now call on the Ghana Dance Ensemble to wrap up the joyous occasion, which is the 50th anniversary launch of the ECOWAS Commission. Ghana Dance Ensemble. anniversary of ECOWAS Commission, the end of the launch but the beginning of a series of events that I pray we will hold with pride close to our hearts. And now, if I may kindly ask that you be upstanding while we take in the anthem of ECOWAS, which will be followed by a supreme performance by Ghana's beautiful velvet-voiced Adina Tembi. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, if we could be upstanding for the anthem of ECOWAS performed by the Ghana Armed Forces. Thank you, Adina Tembi. Thank you very much, Ghana Armed Forces. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we